3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? You are tuned in to the Scoreboard podcast. I'm your man, Brandon Medina. I'm tuned in with your athletic director, Mr. Peter Wagner, as always. He's very joyful today. We had a lot of fun setting up this. We had almost 3 different times we were recording, but we're here. We got here.
We've taken a mulligan.
We've taken a couple of them, but we're here. We're happy to be here. There's a lot of great stuff going on here at the district. We have everything from middle school to talk about. In athletics, we have volleyball, big news in volleyball on both the middle school and high school level. And then when basketball season's finally here, not only for Southwest ISD, the Spurs play their first game today, of course, as well. And then you got big football stuff going on around the district. Lots of Laredo talk coming up for football, but lots of stuff going on. How's life treating you? How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. You know, doing better than your Red Raiders.
Yeah, but
but the Vikings won,
and the
Packers
Rangers
lost,
are in the World Series,
and the Rangers are in the World Series.
There's a lot to appreciate. We'll take
It's good stuff.
It's almost like Thanos. You know what I mean? If you snap your fingers, there's certain things you're going to have to give up. At what cost? Right? My Red Raiders were just kind of giving up. They were the sacrificial lamb for my Vikings to win and the Rangers to go to the World Series.
I got enough. The Packers just lost.
That's it. That's it for you.
That was it.
But we do have a lot of winning going on here.
I take that back. I did get a lot. The Dragons and the Titans are doing some good things.
They're doing incredible things. And on the middle school
historical
level,
things.
Yeah. And on the middle school level is where it starts.
Yes.
You've been talking about everything from pump, pass, kick at elementary level, joining clubs at elementary level, finally getting to play that organized for your school representing in 7th grade in athletics, and then going into 8th grade. Talk to us about what's going on in middle school, because there's a lot of great things happening.
So we just finished up our fall seasons in the middle schools. Had some great games, some great seasons. You know, you had the McAuliffe 7th graders in volleyball going. They were undefeated for a while.
Yep.
We had, the Resnick 8th grade football team was doing pretty good. And then McNair has been competitive at the higher levels in all of their sports. But the group, the team, the school that is really shined in the fall is the Scobie Tigers. The Scobie Tigers, we play 3 sports. We play volleyball, we play football, and we run some cross country. And so in 2 of those 3, so basically Scobie's undefeated. Scobie hasn't lost a game in football or volleyball in 8th grade and the 8th grade A team. So the top area, the Scobie Tigers did not lose a game this year. And we moved into a little bit tougher zone. So they're in there with Loma Alta, they're in there with Medina Valley, Somerset, and those guys.
What is that called? Is it called like the Big something?
The Big 21 Conference.
The Big 21.
There's 21 schools in this conference.
Wow.
Right. So let's take volleyball first, right? So in volleyball, the 8th grade A team was undefeated. Went and watched them in their tournament. So the top 4 teams in our 3 zones of the Big 21 make it to this tournament. So it's a 12-team tournament. And that's some math for you.
Got it. Appreciate it.
All right. Did you write it down?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in this 12-team tournament, the Tigers got a bye, and then they had a tough one against. I think they won an easy one. Then they had a 3-setter against Medina Valley. Lost the first one, won the next 2. Then they play Terrell Wells for the championship game. Lose the first one. They're down by like 6 points in the second set, and then come back and just like it was a completely different team. Just whoop, and then it was on, and they won, the whole thing. And so I think it's the first time they've been undefeated in conference in history.
Wow.
And so that's pretty cool. So congratulations to Coach Bryson, Coach Serta, all those coaches, Coach Henson, and then all those girls and their families and everything for a historic type run.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
stuff.
And we'll be actually focusing more on Coach Bryson and that volleyball team. We're going to be doing them as far as a Beyond the Arches focus story on them, so that's going to be awesome. So we're very much excited to support and highlight the great things going on in middle school.
And then on the football side of things, Coach Young, Coach Fisher have been there since literally they started laying the slab at Scobie. they had another great season. They took a group of 8th graders and they were undefeated. They're zone champions. Went out and beat McNair pretty good. And McNair's pretty talented on the 8th grade A team as well, and beat them pretty handily and undefeated.
Yep.
Also zone champion. So hanging banners at Scobie this year.
As the athletic director for the district, what are you hearing from coaches as far as, because you said that coaches do look at the middle school level to see kind of what's coming up, what holes might be able to be filled by a few 7th and 8th graders in the coming years, whatever the case. What are you hearing from coaches? Are there a few schools that are kind of standing out as far as, I mean, in different areas they all stand out, but is there like a one focus school, Scobie, that school right now that everybody's like, we see some big talent coming through?
Scobie's always been the one where you get a lot of the kids that if you just look over time, right? The faster kids, the skilled kids, those guys. I mean, except for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I grew up with.
I mean, like you're the antithesis of that. But so, other than you're the exception to that possible rule.
I set barriers for barriers.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, they're good right now, but it's been McNair, it's been McAuliffe. We had, when I was at Southwest High School as the coach, we had a group from McAuliffe that was ridiculous. I mean, we had probably out of 22 starters, I think 10 or 11 of them from McAuliffe.
Yep.
And stuff. You know what I mean? Now you got Resnick, and Resnick's got some. You take the kid at the sophomore at Legacy right now, the running back James Ross. He's a Resnick kid and stuff. And so, like you said, lots of good things at all of our schools. I think right now that it's very cyclical. So like you're gonna get that's a big word. Man. I know that's 3 syllables cyclical. For you. So
go ahead and pause. We'll give a second to pause, and you can go look that word up if you need to.
Kind of like geometrical.
Geometrical.
Anyway,
a lot of our teams, as it stands, have been extremely consistent in certain areas. Right. Scobie, as it is this year, just was infallible. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you using that Texas Tech education.
Hey, I didn't get anything athletically from there because I'm not doing anything. But I know, like you said, Scobie just finally has, not finally, but again, cemented themselves. I know the class that I grew up with that went to Scobie, they also had incredible years there. And so, I mean, like you said, it transitions year by year. You have even more competition now with Resnick and McCullough splitting up, and that those kids go in different ways too. So
I'll say this about our volleyball, just programming as a whole in the district has really gotten a lot better. Kudos to our high school coaches and those guys who have put in some work in the spring and things through our CYDI or TOTS program and things like that. And you can really start to see that, like at Resnick. I mean, there's 2 or 3 girls jump serving on the 7th grade level. The Resnick volleyball, the whole crew as a group. With Coach Porter and Coach Hernandez and Coach Lopez and all of them they did a great job with all that crew. So, I mean, great coaches, great kids, and just building it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you spoke about volleyball on the middle school level and how it's been incredible. We're obviously seeing the fruits of that labor now, of course, with, again, some district titles coming at Southwest SWISD. Talk to us about what's going on with volleyball.
So obviously, we talked a little bit about last time we got together that Southwest was heading over to Harlandale for basically the district championship. And they 5-set thriller, which just seems to be their MO, man. They come through and
you give your money's worth.
You're definitely going to get your money's worth. And so they had a huge game. They swept Harlandale, win the district championship, undefeated district championship. I'm not sure the last time we did that. If we did that, it may have been in the Destiny Hooker eras.
Oh man!
But undefeated district championship. You look about 4 or 5 years ago, we had 4 or 5 wins in district, and I was looking at RC Audio, and they always have some pretty good data. And they had 4 wins a few years ago. Then it was 5, 7, 11 last year, and 14-0 this year in district champions. And now they're going to play on Tuesday at the Alamo Convocation Center.
Okay.
And SAISD at 6:00 on Tuesday is what it looks like. We're still waiting. There might be a second game in there, so it might drop to 5:30 still, but it's looking like it'll be 6:00. on Tuesday, next Tuesday. That'd be
I
Halloween.
was gonna say, is that Halloween?
That'd be Halloween. Yeah.
Go check out the spectacular Halloween stuff going on at the zoo right after, I guess, if you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
Hey,
okay.
make
I
a
didn't know
family
you. Were,
event.
I didn't know you were doing plugs for the zoo, but okay.
Make it a fat. Not a sponsor. Feel free to come sponsor the show.
Yeah.
But, hey, San Antonio Zoo. But yeah, just saying. Hey,
yeah, and kudos. Yesterday's game with Legacy was a good game. I mean, like the Legacy's taking another step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a couple of first game was tight, second game was there, and then the third game it was 25-24. Legacy's up 25-25 and everything else like that. And so they're right there.
Could you see volleyball becoming what we're seeing in tennis, where they're competing against each other for a district championship?
Absolutely. I think that as we get going, Coach Cardenas is really taking that another level. They won more games. You look at it, you're like, well, they didn't do so great. But if you look at how they played, who they played with, the caliber of who they were playing, and then how they competed and everything, they've won more games than they did last time. So if they take the Southwest model, here we go. You know what I mean? So, I'm excited about them. Obviously, we're excited about the Dragons and can't wait to see how they do in the playoffs.
Well, we look forward to Southwest ISD volleyball.
District champions, man.
I mean, Southwest ISD volleyball.
And happy birthday to Coach Cortez because they won it. The next day is her birthday.
Man, great birthday gift for all that hard work that goes into it.
No doubt.
That's awesome. Well, Southwest ISD volleyball, Southwest High School district champion, Southwest Legacy, like we said, could be seeing a similar tennis matchup. Maybe both of them play off for a district championship next
few
year.
years. We hope so.
We'll see what happens. But we appreciate Southwest volleyball. We want to just give a big shout out to all the incredible athletes on the middle school level and the high school level for serving up good competition constantly.
Wow,
but
that was some cheese.
You're a cheesehead, so it just makes sense.
God, look at you.
Quick with it today. However,
James already turned us off because of that one.
That's it. Yeah,
he's like, no, I'm done.
He's tuned out. He's tuned out. But we are talking also a little bit about basketball, man. Basketball's finally back. It's an exciting time. We looked at last year. There was some room for growth on both sides of the district. What are your expectations as athletic director for the basketball season? What are you hearing from the coaches?
I think that the girls we're looking to take another step forward.
Yep.
Coach Lyra's she's still got Lillian's coming back. She's got some people coming back. Looking to continue to grow in our competition and competing. Same thing for Coach Hernandez. He's got a group coming back that they had a younger team, and now he's going to try to grow that one with a smaller group, but a group that's like committed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then see about just continuing to grow that program. On the boys' side, you have the Titans. They started today. It's their first day of basketball practice after school.
Gotcha.
And so they're on a 2-year run of making the playoffs. And like I said, I think you don't want to jinx it, but the Dragons could have a season. High expectations are rough sometimes, right?
Yep,
but
they sure are.
If you look at what they've done over the summer and what they did in the fall and the teams they played, the teams they've beat, the way that we've come around and the talent that they have growing up they could be really special. We'll see how it goes and see if they can cut. You can always have special teams. Talent's always great, but you got to put the chemistry together as well when it comes to winning on a grander scale.
Absolutely. I mean, and you look at things the way it stands, not at all that I'm trying to make this a competitive thing, but just Southwest ISD as a whole. You got Southwest High School district champs for tennis. I mean, district champs for volleyball. Legacy district champs for tennis, right? And Anthony Zapata and his sister killing it for cross country over there, right?
Don't forget, Southwest High School also sent both teams, boys and girls.
Yeah, boys and girls.
3 out of the 4 teams at Southwest ISD in cross country went to regionals.
And then you got Southwest High School and Legacy, super competitive still in football. Like this is a great
All 4
time.
teams went to the playoffs.
Water
in water
polo.
polo.
Yeah, this is. Would you say this is the best time to be a Southwest ISD athletics fan?
Oh yeah, I would say that. I mean, I'm pretty. I don't know if I'd call myself practical, but I think the one time that would rival this would be 2007, 2008, when we went 3 rounds in football, went to the regional tournament in volleyball. I don't think we're nearly as good in cross country. There was no such thing as water polo, and we didn't win as much in tennis.
Yeah.
But when you look at the depth of
how far
and how successful they were.
Well, I mean, we're not even in soccer season yet. We saw that.
And that
last
year, and when you look at 2008, like I'm saying, or 2009, what one of those 2 years, the next year our girls went 3 rounds in basketball. Our boys went to this. They beat Judson in the regional semifinals, lost to Wagner in the finals, and then we won the district championship in track. And then we beat Clark in baseball.
Yep.
And then we went 3 or 4 rounds in softball. I mean, you put that whole thing together. I mean, we were like in the Dan Cook UIL Cup in those couple of years. But when you look at what the 2 groups have done this year, again, I keep saying this because it's special. Both teams made it in water polo. And when you talk about Southwest High School first, both teams made it in water polo. Both teams made it in cross country. We were second place, and we made the playoffs in tennis. Our football team is at Southwest is on their way to hosting a playoff game again. Mm-hmm. They already clinched their spot in the playoffs, the 18th year in a row, undefeated district champions in volleyball. Like everything. Go to Legacy, district champions in tennis. Qualified the girls to regionals. Anthony's going to state, got 3rd as a boy in cross country. Both teams made it in water polo. You know what I mean? Football's still in it, and volleyball's getting better. Yeah. You know, and so you look at that's what 10, and out of 8, we're shooting 80%. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
Well, like I said, we haven't even got to soccer. We're Southwest almost was running for state last year. So this is a great time to be a fan of this athletic programs across the district. And then with that, we have 2 more massive football games this week.
Don't forget cross country real quick. Anthony got 3rd at the regional cross country meet, and then we had both teams from, like I already said, from Southwest. But Anthony was 3rd. He's beaten the 2 that beat him. They just go back and forth. So quick story, what Coach Arguello told me, and then we'll get on to football, is so they're in their 2nd mile, and there's like 150 of these kids running in Corpus. And so they're running on the 2nd mile, and it's Anthony and this kid from King and another kid. And so there's about 5 of them in this lead pack kind of, but they're all with everybody else. And this kid at the lead, he kind of goes to everybody, and they all kind of know each other. And he's like, all right, boys, time to go. And those 3 said deuces and left left the rest of the pack and stuff. So Anthony got 3rd. Those 2 finished, and then Anthony finished probably about 5-10 seconds later, and then the next person didn't come in for like 20 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, it was just like, okay, boosters, see ya.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. So I was like, yeah, that'd be like you when you see like a cupcake.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Yeah. I'm not a cupcake guy. I think I'm more of like a pecan pie, Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That type of thing.
All right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, turn on the boosters.
Turn on the boosters. That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So let's talk about football.
Let's talk about football, please. Yes.
Your Vikings won.
My Vikings won. Your Packers lost.
Yeah.
And then
football check.
Football check. All right. So let's talk about Southwest ISD football in particular. Right. We have Southwest High School playing on Thursday in Laredo against Figueroa.
Yep.
Do the winning ways continue? What do you think right now? I mean, one loss, and the loss was against the team who is leading the pack for district.
I mean, I would have, I don't even know if you call this a trap game. You go to Laredo on a Thursday, it's a little bit rough, just getting everybody in there. They're supposed to win. They're probably 3 or 4 touchdown favorites. I think they're still trying to get their groove offensively, being able to control the ball a little bit, things like that. So those are things that they're going to probably start working on a little, getting ready for the playoffs, getting ready for the Fire and Armor Bowl, that kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of a workman's journey down to Laredo, get it done, and get put your big boy pants on for the Fire and Armor Bowl.
Yeah. No, I mean
and stuff. So
and that's lining up. That's lining up next week, and then you got Legacy Friday.
Huge win, man. Last Thursday, we ain't talked about it, but huge win against Eagle Pass. Win.
Yep.
Came out a little flat. You know what I'm saying?
But when you go to win,
you get a win. Yeah.
Just,
well, you know what? Kudos to the defense. Kudos to Coach De La Rosa and all those guys because the first 14 points were not offensive. It was a scoop and score for a touchdown to get us going, and then it was a pick six.
Nice.
And that got us into – that kind of got us like, all right, we're ready to roll. And then –
turn the boosters up.
yeah, and then they kind of went with like Anthony, just kind of – they went by – Wynn's well coached, and they came back, and then the Titans responded. And it was a good win. It was something that was like – it felt good. I mean, a win always feels good, but you go down there, and I think they were kind of like, okay, what do we got? And then they came and do what they do. They fight, and they scrap, and they made it happen. And kudos to them so they can stay in the journey.
Absolutely. Both Laredo teams, you got Sigadoa and Nixon. Nixon's going to be, I think, a little bit more competitive with Legacy.
Yeah.
That Friday game, that's a pink out, I believe, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And obviously, like you said, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of this as a tune-up for the Fine Armor Bowl. Nixon's going to be coming out firing, and they also are looking to try to get some.
Well, they're in the playoff race, so they got to get a win.
Yeah, they got to get a win. And that's what I'm saying. They're fighting just as hard. And so you look at that game. Sigadoa and Southwest is going to be interesting because Southwest gets to go on the road, get, like you said, a tune-up game themselves with Sigadoa. But I do think Southwest wins that one pretty handily.
Absolutely.
Whereas Laredo Nixon coming into Southwest Legacy, that's going to be a competitive game, man.
Yeah, the Titans are going to have to play well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to have to move the ball a little bit better than they have in the last couple of weeks. You know, and then they're going to have to cover some people because the Nixon screen game that's what they do, and they're going to chunk the ball around a little bit like Laredo United of the past. And
throwback, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what they do. And so they're going to have to be able to cover those things, get them off the field, and then – you know, and then move the ball.
And normally teams like that actually travel well, like the family environment for Laredo. They'll be here, like they come down. So it's gonna be a fun time. The weather's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're finally playing some real fall football.
But it only took the whole season.
It took the whole season to get to this weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weather's gonna be great. So go check them out. And then, like we said, next week, man.
Don't forget to turn in your cans.
That's right.
The last day to take them up is Wednesday. So make sure you get your cans turned in, and let's do something together as a community, really serve those who need that might need it going into the holiday season. So you can turn those into all of your different campuses. We count them, and we announce the winner.
Yep.
We do all those things. We also, if you get bored, Wednesday night, punt, pass, and kick, all the young'uns come out, and we get to see the future of this future of Southwest ISD and everything. So good things coming up at the Fire and Armor Bowl.
That's going to be November 3rd on Friday. That's going to be a fun one. What are kind of your expectations? I know we want to try to get the coaches on next week, hopefully on the podcast. But overall, Fire and Armor Bowl, always competitive. Do you think if Legacy wins this one and they can get it all together, that they're coming in just full steam ahead for Southwest? Do you think?
I think it doesn't matter what they do. I think both teams are going to be fired up and ready to have a good time. You know what I mean? I mean, I think that if I'm right, Legacy's still up in the series 3-2. This is going to be Fire and Armor Bowl 6. So the Dragons won the first two, or the first one. The Dragons won the first one and then lost the next three, and then won last year. Yeah. Fun fact, also, if I'm right, if you don't count the
not always
Alamo Bowl, correct, but I think that the road team pretty much has been dominating. Has won every game.
Wow. Well, yeah. Last year was in Legacy.
Last year was at Legacy, and then the first year, the first one was at Legacy. So there's the two wins for Southwest. And then the two, you had the one overtime and the one close one.
Alamo Dome.
As that was at Southwest, and then you had the Alamo Dome.
Game. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Fun fact.
Very Rangers Astros-esque, where you just can't find a win at home,
huh? Seems so.
So, Southwest High School.
A little intrigue.
Southwest High School is hosting this one.
Yeah.
So, Legacy balls in your course with Athletic Director Peter Wagner saying.
There you go. Yeah.
If history is to repeat itself.
The last game. Well, no. If the Dragons win, then they'll host a playoff game. So, the second to last game with the old. No AC press box.
That's right. Man,
yeah.
Are you going to miss it?
No.
Yeah, no chance.
Absolutely not. I don't. Nobody has to worry about falling through anymore.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Lots of beautiful things happening here at Southwest SWISD. Please, again, remember to go get your canned foods into our food drive. That is going to be the last one. Is when? Next Wednesday, you said, is the last time to get your canned food?
Wednesday is the last time to get your cans in so we can get them all counted and get it all taken care of.
Please do. Please do. And then we have Crewad's 25th anniversary coming up on Friday. If you went to Crewad or in the community for Crewad, we'd love to see you guys out there Friday at Crewad's Fall Festival. That will be posted all over social media. And then, if you guys don't know, please come celebrate a safe Halloween with us over there, Relay for Life, for the Trunk or Treat. That's going to be October 31st on Halloween.
It's also the volleyball game.
5:30 to 7:30. What time is the volleyball game?
5:30. Well, it's probably 6.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
There you go. Come early, get your candy, go volleyball game.
There you go.
5:30, 7:30, Relay for Life Trunk or Treat. That's going to be all that and more coming next week. I am Brandon Medina. That's Peter Wagner. Anything else that you want to say to the people, sir?
Let's go Southwest ISD.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you guys for joining us. Next week, we'll be talking all fire and armor. Hopefully, we get the coaches on all together and we can talk more about this exciting football game and this exciting service project. We appreciate you tuning in.
This guy is trying to take your time. He's just sitting here stalling.
Tune in to us all over. You got YouTube, Amazon Music, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, and everything more. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, we are Scoreboard. I'm Brandon Medina. That's Peter Wagner. Like we always say, we are
Southwest.
1.